Smart 24, driving business.
Welcome back from the break. Women in Business on Smart 24 TV. I'm Doreen Kemcha, and today we are talking to Bridget about managing her recycling business. But before we get into that, special thanks go out to Kampala Serena Hotel for giving us this wonderful place. Please come to them for quality accommodation, conferencing, and just a good get-together. Now, we were talking, Bridget, about how you started, what inspired you. This is a male-dominated space that you are doing quite well about, but you also got seed capital, right?
Yes, please.
Some good money. And it took you polishing and polishing until you came up with this particular stance that you have. How did you break down the money, just quickly talking, that you got?
Probably. Of course, I want to appreciate the Young Water Solution team and also Water and Sanitation, WASEU, because there's a way they mentor you into making the right decisions for your business.
Yeah.
Yes, they allow you to make your mistakes within the business, but they also guide you on how to use the seed capital that they give you. So definitely most of the money went into product development. We did our MVP phase where we made mistakes and came back up, and then most of the other fund was directed to the real implementation of the business, purchasing the equipment that we need, purchasing the PPE, personal protective equipment for the people that we work with, especially the fact that we work in West. All the people that we work with should have gumboots, should have overalls, and should have masks for that whole smell. And then the other money, of course, went into business registration, making sure that we are a legit company so that we are able to have more partnerships in the future.
Do you have like those because I know there are so many opportunities, yes? So many opportunities. Do you have those particular, now that you are registered, do you have those particular opportunities where maybe they're bids to have all this refuse and the waste collection, and you also apply for them?
We haven't actually already implemented the part of bidding with the local government, but I would say the fact that we've already put ourselves there, that's where we're heading, where we'll be one of the biggest waste collecting companies in Port
and elsewhere, because Bridget, we want to see expand. We literally are inspired. We are rooting for you. We want to see Green Shiro move to greater heights, not only just Fort Poto, but get into Barra, get into Kasese. You should, and we want to document this and move along with you.
Definitely.
Is that within your dreams, or it's still within the confines of Fort Poto?
Actually, with our future plans, of course, we are looking at setting up our own Green Shiro hub that definitely does all sorts of recycling. Like, let's all deal in everything waste. Turn the waste into building materials, eco-friendly building materials that can be certified by UNBS for both the vertical construction and the horizontal construction. Then we've also tested the biomass recycling, where we turn the biodegradable waste into organic fertilizer, which has been tested, sold to a few clients, like commercial coffee farmers, banana farmers, into like turning their soils to be more productive. This will, the whole hub, there's a way it will create diverse waste solutions.
But also if opportunities and even profits, more money coming in.
Of course, with everything business for profit, you expect more money coming in and more jobs for the people that we work with, especially in Rwenzori.
I'm very sure that the majority of your staff are male.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, the majority of our staff are male.
Are male?
Yes.
How do they handle, how do you handle, and what are the attitudes towards towards you being at the helm of all this? Do they disturb you? And what do they think about this beautiful young woman being in this, waste management space? Have you had people come up to you and say, you know what, you're too beautiful to be within this kind of job?
I think there has always been a question of why. Yeah. Why are you doing waste when there are other simpler? Yes. So it's more of a, why are you doing the hard stuff, which is meant for the hard people, not these simpler feminine jobs. But then, of course, they also understand the fact that in this era, we are not only breaking the bias, but we also want to move in spaces that people think are meant to be for men and boys. Yeah. So, of course, you have workers saying, don't go in the West without having your gumboots on. It's more of conscious because they know that's what I want to do. And besides, there is that thing of, this one is our boss, this one is our leader. So there's no way you'll start telling me what to do in my own space. Yes. So and also making sure that people know what you can do within you, what skills you have and what you really can do. And besides, if we were to all do tailoring, and I'm not saying tailoring is bad, yes. But if we were to all do fashion and hairdressing and be in offices, who will be there inspiring the young girls to also look out for
something else?
Yeah, for something else.
But talking about your staffing, yes, and the relation that you have with them, is it, what do you think is your managing style, the managerial style that you have? Is it more or less that is your side, that this is my side, or it's very inclusive, very participatory?
I'm actually more of a vibe person. We're like, okay, we're the same level, we're doing the same thing. Make your money, let me make my money. Be respectful, and I'll be respectful. If it's fun time, it's fun time. We'll have all the fun in the world. Yeah. But if it's work time, it's work time. And I have that weird personality in me that my face is always like this. Yes. So yes. Sometimes I know that this is time for business. Yeah.
But you do have those moments most of the times when you are at the back of the truck with the guys.
Yeah, actually, I don't even, if I am on a truck, I will not sit in front. I like to sit behind because of the wind, but also just be in the know what is really done. If I'm going to scold someone about not doing the job well, I should know how they do it. Yeah. I should know which plastic is sorted this way, which plastic is sold at this amount. Yeah. How do they do it? And of course you can't know unless you're really at site and doing everything.
You know what fascinates me is, and I even mentioned it to you, is because this has been so male dominated. Even in my mind, I'm still trying to break it. I'm still trying to break it down. One, because the idea that comes to my mind is that gumboot, putting that man with his gumboots and his dirty, smelly overall. That is what comes to my mind. So here you are telling me that you are this young, amazing woman seated at the back with these other, staff, members of staff who are all men. Yes? And is it a moment where you are in your overalls and it doesn't matter, yes, that you are a girl, or this is work just per se, and in your mind that is how you attack it? What is your unique perspective?
Definitely, when I'm at site working, I'm always in my overalls. And besides, I already know I'm working in West, so I shouldn't be cringed that, oh, this is a smelly place. No. If it's a smelly place, good thing we have PPE, you could use a mask. So I'm always open to knowing that this is the space I chose and I should embrace it the way it came to me.
Well, what are those particular challenges that you have continuously met? Of course, I know there are attitudes and then asking you, okay, why aren't you doing something else? But what are those particular challenges that, you know what, I faced this particular challenge because I am Bridget. I am a woman within this particular space.
Within this particular space. I would say maybe our biggest challenge as a business, not as a person, would be the fact that we have to go through so many bureaucracies and steps to make sure that we close a deal or carry out a business transaction. So in a way that, let's say if I want to receive a loan to maybe buy a garbage truck, I'll have to go through the whole due diligence to make sure that this money is really going to do this. And of course, that financial flexibility for starting businesses, especially starting businesses with women in them. There's a way people think that women are not good with business. So
with
giving,
money.
Good with money.
Have they bluntly told you that?
Yeah, at some point maybe I thought it could be a thing that I had at a personal level with money, but of course with the bank system, there are reasons why they can't give you money. Let's say if you haven't had a bank account with them for 3 years, you're not a credible business to be given funds to scale your business. And in most cases, other challenges would come within the systems, the already set systems with the local government, where maybe, let's say, you want to partner with them here and there. You have a lot of rotating around, you have a lot of waiting to do, and yet in your mind, I want to create the solution now. I need the action now, and sometimes the action comes much later, when you've really been frustrated to the core.
So do you think it's more, instead of waiting for all that rotating and waiting for them to actually give you these things on a silver platter, can't you just seize it? Because the opportunities are there for your taking. Right?
Definitely.
Yeah, can't you just seize it maybe?
Yes, there are opportunities where you can seize it. Let's say if I wanted to have a bigger working space, I will definitely partner with a church or partner with an individual who already has the space. And but it's sometimes good to work with existing systems, because it makes the work easy, and sometimes there are, of course, those opportunities that come through them, and it would be easier for you to tap at them through them.
What about those challenges that you could continue to face as a person on a personal level? Like Bridget, is it mindset, or it is you as a person who is actually now trying to defeat yourself because of your mindset? Because you have all these other different societal, expectations, what they get to think about Bridget within recycling business, and then you also maybe have your moments where you are scared to get out. You are a little bit too conservative. What are those particular challenges that, on a personal level?
This is getting way personal.
Yes.
So, okay, I would say the personal challenge I have received with working with Green Shiro would be people management. In such a business, you work with so many people. From the person you're collecting the waste from the person who is sorting the waste for you, from the person who is recycling and making baskets for you. You need extraordinary patience. Extraordinary patience, extraordinary interpersonal skills for you to be able to make sure that your business stays afloat, but also you don't step on too many toes to have issues with everyone. And maybe some other challenge is the fact that there's a way people think her life has ended if she's working in West.
Yes.
Do
they come out flatly and tell
they're like, how can you do architecture, have a civil engineering background, and then of all things you choose West, and then you have to re-explain how important it is, how West is important, because apart from the mindset of let me dump here, people do not know that I can turn this waste into something else. I can turn this plastic bottle into a beautifying object that I can use some other time. I can turn this food or this husk into a pesticide. People put the husks in water for a long period and then you use it to water your plants. You can turn the food remains, apart from the villages where they know that food remains go for animal feeds. But in the urban setting, food remains, of course, go back to Kasasu. But they don't know that you can turn it into soil itself where you can plant your vegetables in. So trying to always train the same thing to the same people is quite stressing sometimes.
But I think those are opportunities, yes?
Yes, they are opportunities.
They are opportunities for the taking, especially when it comes to, like I mentioned, culture, the mindset. Have you thought of maybe partnering with the council to come up and hold these within public spaces? And over the radios, have you carried
we have actually had an opportunity to work with Afria. It's a golf academy organization within Fort Portal, where they do cleaning campaigns, where they sensitize people the importance of conserving your environment, what you can do, and it's a great opportunity. It has seen so many mindset change within the community. You see that we not only contribute to SDG 11, where you ensure responsible consumption of things, but you see that people actively participate in the cleaning activities, sometimes call on the radio programs and ask, how did you say, how can I turn this, and all those things. People are open to learning, and they are very open to implementing what they have learned.
That's amazing. You know, when we met the first time, even before we had this, the very first thing I thought of was the huge opportunities within this particular, waste management. You've got, everyone is so hyped up on green economy. Everyone is so hyped up on reducing carbon emissions. Everyone is so hyped up on all these different, reusable, different strategies. Now, when we come to Uganda, you don't even have, you have those particular opportunities, but the very first thing you have to fight with is the mindset about this particular sector in which you work, right?
But I think the issue with all those climate-related challenges we have is in most cases, the resources that are available for people to learn from, first of all, they are in English. Someone who is affected by climate change is deep down in the village. So it's very key for for those people who write the reports, for those stakeholders, to really niche down the resources that they choose to share. Even the media. There is a way resources are shared in that complex language that someone at a lower level of the whole pyramid does not really understand how to contribute to making sure that climate change adaptations is addressed.
But then this is where I see the opportunity. Yes,
definitely.
This is Bridget, who is already doing this amazing work. Yes, and you are talking about, the person down in the village is not able to. This is why you see a lot of caveras. Yes,
everywhere,
which definitely harm the soils. Yes, and decrease the facility, the fertility, and all that. But what I'm thinking about is the amazing opportunity, not only just for women out there, but for you as well, in being able to translate all these complicated documents into something that the average person in the village is able to understand, but also changing the different mindsets that we have.
And also being able to make sure that people actively, they not hearing that those climate issues are for the people in the global north, or that is in the urban centers. But when we really train people how to change the mindset from home, recycle the waste from home, we have these 5 R's: Simanya: refuse, reuse, reduce, recycle. So people do not, you might find that rural community people are really doing their things, but they don't know what is really the importance. And I am making my baskets, but they do not know what they have really contributed to ensuring that the environment is conserved. So
this is really a good opportunity for everyone watching out there. These are opportunities that are yours for the taking. If this is an opportunity that we are looking at, we are discussing right now, and Bridget, who is into this, is mentioning it out, what are you waiting for? You know?
Imagine how much money you could make out of collecting those bottles from the same environment. Let's say in the same trading center, collecting bottles. Imagine if a kilo of plastic bottles is sold at 800 shillings. A kilo has over 60 bottles.
Okay.
It's like a quarter of a 100-kilogram sack. So imagine if you're collecting more than that, how much money are you making every
this
week?
is what I was going to ask you, Bridget. I was going to ask you, how are you making that money? Because we know that you people have money. we hear that these recyclers have money, but we want to know the nitty-gritties. How do you make that money? So you get all these bottles, because we see them being collected every morning, and then they're broken down.
So we work with 28 waste collecting agents in 5 divisions, that is Fort Portal and Kawaroli. So once the plastic is collected from wherever, shops, what, after putting all the collecting bags, we collect it at once and put it in one place. We are currently using the Kitere waste plant, which is owned by the government. So we sort it according to the type of plastic, the size of the plastic, and then clean it and sometimes compress it so that we are able to transport a huge chunk of plastic waste. So the PET bottles, these normal soda bottles, mineral water bottles, are sold at between 500 and 800 a kilo. So definitely a ton is giving you 800,000. So a ton of plastic can be collected in 2 weeks. So let's say if a young lady, sorry for saying ladies, if a young lady is collecting a ton every month, just 1 ton.
That's 800,000.
That is 800.
But don't make it look so simple. How big is a ton?
A ton is...
You can be talking about 10 lorries and you're here just a ton.
No, actually, a ton is more of 6 nets, the big nets. The big mosquito nets.
Are you sure?
Yes. You can have 4 to 6.
Yes,
and if you really compressed them well, you could even have less than that.
Really?
And you can put them at the backyard of your house, and we just come and pick them and give you some
we
money.
We see these things every day.
Yeah.
Kumbe, there is money.
Yeah, there's definitely
that is like
money.
1 million just sitting in someone's backyard. Definitely. What about the guys who pick? Because there are those ones that pick, yes, from different places. We get to see them every morning. They pick all these bottles early morning, and sometimes they even fight for them
because they know that there is money,
and then they come over and give. So how much are you paying them? Those are the agents. Those are the waste collecting agents. Let's say if I am selling my kilo at 800, I'll buy your kilo at 500. Really? Yes, please. People, you are seated. You are literally seated on money, and many people think that this is something that has to use a lot of money. It's just all about money and a lot of, yes, it is a lot of effort, because you will need to move around to make sure that you come up with a whole ton of plastic. Yes. So you could choose to do it every morning, because it is easy at work in the morning, or every evening when people have really exhausted all their drinking needs. And if you really want to make good money out of it, collect it and sort it yourself, so you know I'm selling green at this amount, I'm selling white, because we sell according to color. We grade them according to color, and sometimes even sell the lids alone. Just sort it and sell according to color. Get to know how much the price rates. So the more colored it is, the more expensive? No, the more colored it is, the more cheaper it is. Oh, the cheaper it is. So if it's brown, you might buy it at 200, 300. If it's green, we could buy it at 400, 600. And if it's this white common one, we could buy it at 600, 725, or 800. Please take a moment and stress to all the young women out there, to all the young men out there watching Women in Business right now, and seeing you, Bridget, talking about, just stress it about this opportunity that is theirs for the taking.
To all young women out there, because I know that guys have already done this kind of business.
Yes.
You can do this at your home, at the comfort of your home. Collect your bottles at your own pace. And if you're able to sort it, if you have enough space to sort it, you can sort it according to color. You are able to sell the brown bottles, the stony bottles, coffee malt bottles. Those are brown. You can sell them at 300, 200. A kilo. And which makes it 1,000 kilos a ton, which makes it 300,000 a ton. And then if you're collecting the white bottles, those are the expensive ones, you can sell it at 800 a kilo. And then if you have these old jerry cans, old buckets, get them from your neighbors. They're already throwing them in their backyard kasasiri. And that could harvest you 1,000 a kilo. Because they are a bit heavy.
Yes.
And they're a bit heavy one, and you don't need a lot of it to make more money.
That is just about it. This conversation is eye-opening. Bridget, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you well. We're going to be tracking you because we want to see you go across Fort Portal, get into this and seize and grow bigger.
I look forward to that as well.
We love it that you are conquering and you are seizing this space here. To the person watching, you have had the opportunities that are within the recycling space. Whether it is sensitization, Bridget says there is quite a lot of opportunity to be able to sensitize others. There is quite a lot of space for the woman out there and for the man out there to come and seize and get all these different substances and these different objects and come and do something great with them and make very good money within the comfort
of your home.
Yeah. Of your home.
Even
so
your
please
business.
take these opportunities. This has been Doreen Kemcha with Bridget, our guest today on Women in Business, Smart 24 TV. Please join us next time and pick something new every time we meet. Bye-bye and see you next time.